Lisa and Tom wake up at 6:15 a.m., both of them. She gets the kids ready while he makes coffee. They're out the door by 7:30. 2 cars, 2 commutes, 2 jobs, 2 incomes totaling $140,000 a year. They should be comfortable. They're not. At the end of every month, they have less than $200 left. Less than when Tom's parents raised him on one income of $45,000 in the 90s. You know what's wild? Their parents bought a house, raised 3 kids, and saved for retirement on a single paycheck. Lisa and Tom can barely cover daycare with 2. This isn't about them being bad with money. This is about a system that was redesigned when nobody was looking. Let me introduce you to Lisa and Tom. She's 34, works in marketing. He's 36, project manager at a tech company. Together, they make $140,000 a year. That puts them in the top 25% of household incomes in America. On paper, they should be building wealth. They're not. They're trapped. And here's the thing that will make your brain hurt. The second income, the entire reason Lisa went back to work after their first kid, that whole paycheck, all $55,000 of it after taxes, it's gone. Not spent on luxuries, not wasted, just gone. Disappeared into a system that's designed to absorb it. Let me show you exactly where it goes. Lisa makes $70,000 a year. Tom makes $70,000. Combined gross income $140,000. After federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, Medicare, they take home about $98,000. That's $8,166 a month. Sounds like a lot. Watch what happens. Daycare for 2 kids, $20,400 a month. That's just average in a mid-sized city, nothing fancy. Second car payment, insurance, gas, maintenance because they both need to commute, $650 a month. Mortgage on a 3-bedroom house in a decent school district, $2,200. Food for a family of 4, and they're not eating steak every night, $800. Utilities, internet, phones, $280. Health insurance premiums, because even with employer coverage they still pay, $450. Student loan payments from the degrees they needed to get these jobs, $620. That's $7,400 a month in fixed expenses. They have $760 left for everything else. Clothes for growing kids, car repairs, medical copays, saving for retirement, saving for college, emergency fund, life. Here's what nobody tells you about dual income households. The second income doesn't double your wealth. It doubles your obligations. Tom's parents in the 90s, they had 1 car payment, 1 commute. Mom stayed home, so no daycare. They lived in a smaller house because the market hadn't exploded yet. They cooked every meal because there wasn't an Uber Eats option when you're too exhausted. Tom's dad made $45,000. After taxes, about $36,000. Mortgage was $720. 1 car, $280. Food, $400. Utilities, $160. Health insurance was cheaper, $120. They had $1,220 left every month. More margin than Lisa and Tom with triple the gross income. But here's where it gets darker. The system didn't just absorb the second income. It became dependent on it. Housing prices rose because lenders realized households could afford bigger mortgages with 2 incomes. Daycare became an industry because they knew parents would pay anything to work. Car manufacturers designed family cars knowing you'd need 2. Convenience services exploded because they knew you'd be too exhausted to cook, clean, or manage. The second income created a new tier of expenses that didn't exist before. And then those expenses became necessities. You can't drop to 1 income now, even if you wanted to. The mortgage requires 2 incomes. The daycare, the cars, the convenience purchases you need because you're both working 60-hour weeks. It all requires both paychecks. You're not building wealth. You're funding the cost of having 2 incomes. Lisa and Tom aren't alone. 62% of dual-income households report they couldn't maintain their lifestyle if one person stopped working. Think about that. 2 incomes, and you're 1 layoff away from catastrophe. Their parents' generation, the single-income generation, they had margin. Lose a job, tighten the belt, survive on savings for months. Lisa and Tom lose 1 income and they can't make the mortgage payment within 30 days. The second income didn't create security. It created a more expensive prison. And here's what's truly insidious. Society tells you the second income is empowerment, independence, equality. And it is those things, but it's also been weaponized by an economic system that realized it could extract more from households if both adults worked. You're not choosing to work. You're required to work because everything was repriced for dual-income households. The house you need, the childcare you need to work, the second car you need to commute, the convenience services you need because you have no time, it all costs exactly what two incomes can barely cover. This isn't a bug. It's a feature. Now let me show you how the wealthy play this completely differently. When they have a second income, they don't spend it on necessities. They've already covered necessities with income one. Income two goes straight to assets, investments, real estate, business equity. They're not paying for daycare with their second income because they structured their life so daycare isn't required, or they use income one for it. Their second income compounds. For Lisa and Tom, the second income evaporates into lifestyle maintenance. For wealthy households, it multiplies. Same tool, two incomes, but one family uses it to tread water, while another uses it to build an empire. Here's the mechanism they understand that most people don't. Wealthy dual-income households cap their lifestyle at what one income can sustain. They live in the house that one salary can afford. They drive the cars that one salary can cover. They maintain the life that one income supports. Then the second income, the entire thing, gets deployed strategically, maxing out retirement accounts, both of them, investing in index funds, building a real estate portfolio, funding a business. That second income, $55,000 a year, invested at an average 8% return, becomes $4.1 million over 30 years. For Lisa and Tom, that same $55,000 becomes zero. It paid for the privilege of both of them working. This is what's stealing from the middle class, not the first income, the second one. The first income covers a basic life. The second income should be building generational wealth. Instead, it's getting extracted by a system that repriced everything the moment dual income became normal. Childcare that costs $2,400 a month, that's not a fair market price. That's the maximum a household can pay and still justify the second income. Housing in good school districts, priced at the maximum a dual-income household can borrow. Convenience services, priced at exactly what an exhausted dual-income couple will pay to avoid one more task. The system didn't adapt to dual income. It exploited it. Let me tell you about Jennifer. She's 38, and 3 years ago she did something radical. She quit her $65,000 job. Her husband makes $95,000. Together, they had been making $160,000 and feeling broke. When she quit, they sat down and did the math. Her take-home was $48,000 after taxes. Daycare for 2 kids was $28,000 a year. Her car expenses, $7,800. Work clothes, lunches, dry cleaning, another $30,600. Convenience purchases because they were both exhausted, conservatively $6,000. Her $48,000 take-home was costing them $45,400 just to maintain. She was working full-time to net $2,600 a year, less than $220 a month. When she quit, they moved to a slightly smaller house, saving $400 a month. 1 car instead of 2, saving $650 a month. She cooks most meals now, saving $500 a month. No daycare, saving $2,300 a month. They went from $200 left at the end of each month to $4,050. She's home with the kids, stress is down, marriage is better, and they're saving more on 1 income than they ever did on 2. The math didn't math until she stopped trying to make it math. Now, I'm not saying every family should drop to 1 income. That's not the point. The point is this. The system has been structured so that the second income feels necessary, but delivers almost nothing. You're running faster to stay in the same place. And here's what you need to understand. This wasn't an accident. When women entered the workforce en masse in the 70s and 80s, economists and policymakers celebrated it. More workers, more productivity, more economic growth. But businesses and lenders saw something else. They saw households with double the income and the same expenses. So they raised the expenses. Housing got more expensive because banks realized you could borrow more. Childcare became an industry because both parents working created demand. Everything repriced for dual income. And now you can't go back without restructuring your entire life. Here are the 3 moves that let you escape this trap. Move 1. Cap your lifestyle at 1 income. If you make $70,000 and your partner makes $70,000, live like you make $70,000 total. The entire second income should be invisible in your daily life. No bigger house because you can afford it with 2 incomes. No second car payment justified by we both work. Live like a single income household that happens to have a second paycheck going somewhere productive. It's uncomfortable. Society will tell you you're not living up to your income level. Ignore society. Society is broke. Move 2. Eliminate second income expenses ruthlessly. Daycare is the biggest one. Can one parent shift to part-time or remote work? Can you move closer to family for childcare support? Can you reduce hours at a lower cost than daycare charges? The math might surprise you. Second car. Does the second income actually require it, or is there a way to carpool, remote work, or restructure? Convenience purchases, meal kits, cleaning services, they exist because you're too exhausted from working. If working is costing you more than it's earning after these expenses, the math is broken. Fix the math. Move 3. Deploy the second income like a weapon. Retirement accounts first, max both 401ks if you can. Then taxable investment accounts. Then real estate if that's your path. That second income shouldn't touch your checking account. Automate it on payday straight to investments. You're not building wealth with 2 incomes by spending 2 incomes. You're building wealth by living on one and investing the other. That's how the game is won when the game is rigged. The second income isn't for a bigger house. It's for optionality. It's for fuck you money. It's for the ability to drop to 1 income if you want to, without your life collapsing. Lisa and Tom are starting to figure it out. They refinanced to a smaller house, cutting their mortgage by $600. Tom started working remote 3 days a week. They dropped to 1 car, saving $650. They kept 1 kid in part-time daycare, and Lisa's mom watches the other 2 days a week. Daycare dropped from $2,400 to $800. Those moves freed up $2,450 a month. They're now investing $2,200 of it. In 25 years, at 8% average return, that becomes $2.1 million. The second income that was disappearing into expenses is now building generational wealth. Same 2 incomes. Different system, different outcome. This is the dual income trap. Society convinced you that 2 incomes means prosperity. The system repriced everything, so 2 incomes means survival. You're not more wealthy than your parents because you have 2 paychecks. You're more trapped because the second paycheck became mandatory to cover expenses that didn't exist when your parents lived on one. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. To extract maximum value from households by ensuring both adults work while delivering minimum wealth in return. Understanding this doesn't magically free you from it, but it does something more important. It lets you stop blaming yourself for struggling with 2 incomes when your parents thrived with 1. The game changed. Now change how you play it.